Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to the continuation of One Talent Challenge. Now, we left off right here, where we had just got to the burial grounds. And as always, the challenge remains the same. I'm only allowed the one talent up until Nightmare, and then I can expand out to a second talent, and I'm hoping my ravens can carry me. I find it odd that the ravens do quite a bit of damage for what they are. I mean, if you honestly look at them, they don't have a health total, so they can't really tank for you. They can't really stand in front of mobs and like absorb hits. But as you can see there, they do tons of damage. And there they did exactly tons of damage. I mean, look at this. They do 7 to 14 damage, and they're allowed 17 hits before they die. Just do the rough math. 7 times 17. It's 119 damage per raven, and you get 5 of those. Now, 5 ravens at 119 damage, that's 595 damage. Just 5 ravens. And that's just at a low level. I mean, we're talking, what? Not that. We're talking level 6 raven. It'll be really embarrassing if I die to a trapped barrel. That did actually happen one time. But that was in old Diablo 2, original hardcore. I came down in here and I was just absolutely kicking barrels. And as I was kicking barrels, I had like 4 explosive ones in a row. I was playing as sorceress. And my guy became worm food real quick. But it happens, you know, it's part of the game, it's part of life. I don't have any ravens left. And this is a great place for early armor experience. Just a whole bunch of early stuff. It's just really good for all of it. Because there's good early loot here, too. And you do this one and you do the other one. This is the crypt, and I think the other one's called the mausoleum. I mean, you get 2 unique mobs down here. I think one is... what is it? Bonebreaker, that's it. Caught him just in time, too, right before he died. Now, eventually I'm gonna have to put into something like, I don't know. Wow, that was the worst lock chest I think I've opened in forever. I'm actually gonna have to put points into like strength, dexterity, so that I can block and so that I can actually physically swing and hit things. Because I don't think that my ravens are going to be able to carry me the entire way without me actually stabbing things with a dagger or hitting them with an axe or whatever, or having a shield. But we'll see how far I can get. Now, and Dariel might pose a problem, because she'll just beeline it straight for me. I won't... unless I pick up an item that has plus to skills, for like +1 to Wolf, or +1 to Oak Sage. I think Andariel's going to make quick work of me. It remains to be seen, though. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's pretty decent amount of gear I've gotten so far. You know, rare dagger, rare chest armor. Getting hit by cold enchanted, losing all my ravens at the same time. Feels bad, man. Short stabs, they should sell well. May have been. Firebolt, Frostbolt. Now the problem is that those are also ethereal. That short step is ethereal. That's the issue. Like ethereal items, even though you can have like +5 to skills on it, and ethereal items is still sell for garbage. So it's kind of a bittersweet moment. It's like, yeah, +2 to Firebolt. Oh, it's ethereal. Like you're kind of happy to see that you got a +2 skills weapon, but then you realize it'll break and then it's worth nothing to the vendor. And you're just kind of sitting there with like a altering between happiness and sadness. Like some Shakespeare, like some odd Shakespearean drama. It's a tragedy and a comedy all at the same time. Now, if Andariel doesn't somehow become an issue, there is also Duriel. Duriel's been known to be the killer of runs. After Duriel, it's kind of easy stream, to be honest. As Mephisto, you can just summon a whole bunch of ravens, and then just avoid his spells. And then just summon more ravens and avoid his spells. And then just get a whole bunch of, like, plus to resistances. That way, if he does hit you with spells, doesn't really matter, you're gonna avoid the damage anyway. We're gonna start putting into some other points, dexterity, strength, as I'm gonna need better gear. I'm gonna need to be up there in the thick of it, swinging around a mace wildly like my hair's on fire. Because if I'm not, it's not gonna end up good. Now the quickest way back is honestly town portal, take the waypoint, and then head the other way.
Good day. I cannot.
Yeah, you can hardly believe I beat Bloodraven. Blah blah blah.
It is.
Oh, we're going to go get Deckard Cain. He's going to tell us to stay a while and listen. Stay a while and listen. Nobody ever actually heeded his advice. Nobody sat there and listened to Deckard. I mean, let's be real here. The moment you rescue Deckard Cain, you're just like, hey, Deckard, thanks. Now you can just identify stuff for me, no problem. But, yeah, see ya. And then you just leave. It's not like the ring he gives you is any good. It's kind of like Ormus in Act 3. Ormus even says, this magic ring does me no good. It doesn't do me any favors either. But Ormus is just a complete wad. Ooh. I don't want to... Yeah, that'll be good for a 3-socket rune word later on. I'm gonna go talk to Geed. If Geed has a longbow or a different bow that the Eliza can use there, we'll go with that instead. He's got a longbow. That'll be good for the imbue.
I'll put that to good use.
The only thing you're gonna get once I hit, Act 2, I'm gonna buy an Act 2 mercenary. They're just downright better. Especially if I get the Thorns aura on the edge bow. Because then I can put the edge bow on my druid. And not have to worry too much about taking any physical damage. Because then the guy up front, the Act 2 mercenary, will be the one absorbing all the thorns. But I forgot what the edge rune word was. That's the tricky part. Like, mercenaries are allowed, obviously, because, it would... Imagine how hard the game would be if you did it without a mercenary and you tried to do it with just one talent. It gets very tough. Because, again, like, if I'm doing it alone, if I had... Now, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Let me hear me out now. If I had a friend that played Diablo 2, someone that I knew was a really good Diablo 2 player. I think we could do a one talent challenge where we would not have mercenaries at all, and we could do a 2-man run that would actually be really good. Because then you could technically, one person could run Paladin and do Holy Bolt and heal the other one that's up there basically tanking. That would be a kind of a cool idea, because Holy Bolt doesn't do anything to anyone except undead. It heals players, but it doesn't do any damage. So Holy Bolt would be effectively worthless throughout all of Act 1 and through the vast plurality of Act 2. But I think it would be an interesting thing that if you could probably do a one-talent challenge load with other players. Now, if only I knew a couple of content creators that did this, we could partner up with them. That'd be cool. And I know other content creators. I only actually know one other content creator off the top of my head, personally. It's kind of an odd story. I was the one that got him into the content creation idea. And then he said, yeah, he looked at me and he says, you've got interesting stories. You should do it too. I thought, do I really have interesting stories? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. And notice, no intros, no outros. I don't ever see a point of having outro music, outro, animations, title cards. I get the reasoning behind it. Don't get me wrong. But I don't see I don't see the allure. That would be the word I'm looking for. As a creator, to put an outro card or something like that.
Put that to good use.
I don't see it. Like, I understand its purpose, but I guess I'm built different, as they say. Ooh, somebody's got blessed aim. Who's the aura enchanted? Hear it? Listen, you'll be able to hear it. There it is. You can hear the blessed aim. Blessed aim is one of those auras you don't want to mess with. You don't want to sit there and tap dance around blessed aim. Because, I mean, they're Johnny on the spot, absolutely annihilating you with damage. I don't know if the game is too loud or too quiet. I didn't do any sort of equalized testing on the game. I will actually turn it down a little bit more in my options. As you can see, the game does not pause when I hit pause. When I hit escape, because it is online. Which makes this even tougher, because if I hit escape to try to do something, I will be summarily hunted down like the lowly dog that I am in this game. So, that's that. Preserved head. That might have... It's got skills. They're multiplying. Oh wait, that's grease. It never fails, though. You'll get an experience shrine, and you'll run into a cursed mob. Also, I will be doing the cow level after every difficulty. For the sole purpose that, what's the point in keeping it? It's hardcore. When you die, you lose it. It's just like I'm going to be using the imbue. I'm going to try to use the imbue on an item that has plus to skills on it, or that could get plus to skills on it, like a wolf head, or a spirit mask, or something like that. Something that I can utilize the plus to skills, so to speak. Because you don't want it to just be like, oh yes, I've enchanted this spear with plus to skills. You know what I mean? You want it to be useful to you in the long run. Sometimes the imbues can actually be really good. Sometimes you can get absolutely had at by archers. I need a shield with better block. Those archers were just absolutely having their way with my life total. It's a good thing I had a potion. Now, I'm sure people wonder, what is it, why is it that I have, like, age gates on this, on my videos? It's honestly quite simple. It's like, I don't curse, I don't make, off-color comments, I don't make, innuendo jokes, I don't do anything of the sort. So why the age gate? Quite simple. The game has violent content, right? Same way with Call of Duty. Kids don't need to be seeing Call of Duty. Kids don't need to be seeing Diablo 2, to be honest with you. If their parents allow them to watch Diablo 2, that's one thing. But if their parents don't allow them to watch Diablo 2, that's the thing. It's one of those things of I'm having respect for how I would run it if I was a parent looking at it. Do I want my kid watching Call of Duty, content creators? No. Do I want my kid watching, Diablo 2 content creators? No. Do I want them watching any sort of, like, content creator at all that could be possibly corrupting their mind by saying something that they take the wrong way, or it just in any sort of way? And it's not because it's like you're afraid of the reprisal, you're afraid of the backlash. That's not it. Backlash is going to happen regardless. Reprisal is going to happen regardless, because you're going to say something that somebody somewhere along the line finds deeply offensive, and they look upon you like you're some sort of degenerate, right? And that's always going to be the case. Like, you can make an innocuous joke about something, and someone will find fault with it, and someone will immediately grab the torches and pitchforks, right? And that's just the way life is. That's just the way the internet's become. When I was a kid, the internet was the Wild West. There was no regulation, there was no laws, there was just the internet. You said what you said, and you didn't care about the consequences, you didn't care about people's feelings, you didn't care about anything. You just typed it out and said, we're like, haha, that's funny. That was it. That was the end of it, generally. Nowadays, you've got this pseudo-coherent hit mob that runs around finding old clips and everything of people and saying, I'm going to ruin their life. Making other people's lives miserable because they themselves are miserable, maybe? I don't know. Or that it upset their sensibilities, neither of which make any sense, to be perfectly honest with you. If somebody says something that's not, like, inherently criminal, and yes, there are people out there saying things that are inherently criminal, and I condemn that to the ends of time. If you're saying things that are misleading or, dare I even say, corrupt, to the point of, I would have to say, specifically anymore in society, is a sense of, like, everybody saying things that are mistaken as being perverted. And it's like, people don't need, like, you don't need youth to hear that, and I condemn that action. It's one of the reasons I try to keep my content as clean as humanly possible, and unedited as well, because I want people to hear the mindset. I choose not to do these things because I don't feel that I don't feel that it is a right time and place to say them. Curse words, for example. I won't say them on my content. Won't do it. Not because I can't. Not because that's some moral high ground. Because it's not at all. Is it the time and place for it while I'm playing this game? No. Not really. It's a game. I mean, if you have to accentuate your gameplay with coarse language, then that kind of takes away from your gameplay, in my estimation. There's no place for any sort of comments that can be misconstrued as in a sexual behavior. There's no room for that. Now, if you're sitting there and you're having, a conversation with your friend, and your friend says something that can be misconstrued as an innuendo, there's some wiggle room there, but again, age gate the video. That's all. Because, younger minds and everything don't need to hear that kind of thing. They really don't. When I was a kid, it was all about make-believe and, picking up a stick and thinking it was a wand or a sword, a gun, and playing cops and robbers and cowboys and Indians, and
What you need?
it was literally that simplistic of a lifestyle. That's not today. There's a lot of stuff out there that can corrupt a lot of minds, and I think people need to curtail a lot of it, specifically on YouTube.
Hello.
But that's enough grandstanding. I just want people to enjoy what it is that I do. If you enjoy watching people challenge themselves and push the boundaries of their skill level in a game that's old, admittedly, and you like to see that, then this is a great jumping off. This is great for people because then they can see it and be like, you know what? That's a good idea. I'd never thought of that. Or, he's crazy for trying that. That's exactly what I'm looking for. It's that kind of panache that not really, and I can't even really say it's a niche because it's not really a niche because people do challenges all the time. You know what I mean? So
I'll put that to good use.
it's 3 to 10, so 6 to
I'll
15,
put that to good
7
use.
to 21.
I'll put
But
that to good use.
this one she has faster attack speed though. We'll go the attack speed. That's what we'll go with. Sometimes attack speed wins you games. And honestly, there are two things in this game that will really save your life. And that is block percent and faster hit recovery. And it doesn't seem like it would. Most people look at me like I'm crazy. Like I have a horn growing out of my forehead. And they're like, why faster hit recovery? Your character has a certain number of frames, or partial frames, where he's recovering from a hit. If he gets hit hard enough, you will see him as he will reel back like this, and then he will come forward. That's his hit recovery. Now, when that happens, as he's in the reeling back phase and the recovering phase, he cannot block, he can't do anything. And the enemies can still sit there and hammer away at you. Which creates the issue of you need a faster hit recovery. Which is why it's one of the most important stats in the game.
I'll put that to good use.
Doesn't seem that way, but it is. Especially with block value, too. Or block percent. Because your block percent also works with your faster hit recovery. You can block, your character does the block animation, and then if he doesn't have faster hit recovery, it takes him longer to recover from the block animation. So yeah, faster hit recovery is a very important stat. I mean, it ranks up there with plus to skills. It really does. Ooh, I don't like that. Bug on my screen. The reason I don't like the amplify damage on me is because amplify damage is a very specific curse in such a way that it does not amplify the damage you take from spells. It only amplifies physical damage taken. And that's critical to understand because most things that are cursed generally cast just the curse. They have all physical damage. They're not casters. So if you see a skeletal mage and he's got cursed and you're like, "Oh, well, he's cursed, that's going to hurt." Well, no, it's not actually going to hurt that much because his spells don't do extra damage. Unless of course his curse has lower resist, at which point they hit like a truck. But 9 times out of 10, the things you run into that are cursed are all physical. And they will curse you and they'll just start hacking away at your life total. That's pain. It's absolute pain. Wow, I didn't even notice. I looked down and I'm at 26 minutes. 26 minutes already. Then again, I did get off on a tangent talking about, what is acceptable or what should be acceptable and why I age gate the game and why I age gate the videos. It's... I guess it's just a me thing. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't. Another thing is, and people absolutely call me a square. Yes, that just proves how old I am. They'll call me a square because they'll be like, you don't ever go out and have fun or party or anything. Correct, I don't. I don't drink. I don't do any form of illicit substances. Nor do I want to. Nor would I suggest anybody do so. I mean, that's my personal standpoint on it. It's... my personal standpoint on it is I don't see the need for having that. I don't see the need for having a substitute to be a substitute. Listen to me, a substance to be a constant value in your life. Now there are people that obviously struggle with alcohol and drug addiction, and I want the best for them. Truthfully, I do, because it's got to be a tough road. That's got to be some tough sledding. But I don't see the need for it. People say, well, you drink coffee, though. Aha, it's got caffeine. Yes, I drink coffee. But it's not like I drink it to increase my performance. It's not like I'm chugging, 86 cups a day to do better at, the LCS, or the VGC, which, by the way, I'm going to have VGC videos coming up. That's going to be at the beginning of September, because that's when Regulation H starts. So if you're into Pokemon VGC battles, that's going to be September. It's also, September's, that's going to be harsh, because not only am I going to have that in September, I'm going to have Black Ops in September, and then I got Black Ops in October. And, that's the Black Ops in September and October. I think that's it. I think that's... I'll be uninstalling Modern Warfare 3 and be doing Black Ops 6 in September, October. First, I'm going to read and see if there's if there's an NDA or anything like that, or if there's an embargo on content creation on Black Ops 6. Because I don't want to, overstep my bounds and get into the Black Ops 6 beta and then turn around and, shoot myself in the foot, metaphorically speaking, and, break the embargo or something. And that's one thing that, content creators do have to worry about is, you make content and then you're like, wait a minute, was there an NDA or was there an embargo on it? You have to look back through and see if there is. Hopefully they don't do a content creation embargo, because I think that would be a big boon for their purchases, giving the people the ability to see the game before it comes out. This one's going to run a little long because I want to get the next waypoint. But that's the thing is I think that you could do better, like, guerrilla style advertising with people playing your game on a stream or playing your game on a video and getting eyeballs out there and getting traction to it. And I think that, to me, is just a smarter process to go through. Truthfully, I think that is the wisest decision they could make. And I'm hoping Activision, Treyarch, or whoever's running it this time goes that route and allows it. Because if they start putting, like, embargoes and other, you can't create this content, and they start putting, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not embargoes, but it's where they prevent you from making videos. It's not an NDA. It's you're not allowed to talk about it. I mean, NDA is not allowed to talk about it, but you're not allowed to show anything, screenshots, videos, none of it. It's banned, not allowed. It's like, I think having the ability to show your product is what makes these products sell even quicker. Because people see the game and then their eyes are, their eyes get drawn to it. And I kind of don't want to use the word suckered in, but it's true, right? It's like setting a hook and fishing. You see the product and then it's like, huh? And it just kind of, it hooks them. We put a shiny product on a little bauble. We put a product on a shiny little bauble there, and then all of a sudden, what do you know? Haha, we've got 86 new customers.
This dead tree teems with energy.
See? That's what I'm talking about. Is they just. It's not even really a bait and switch either. If you want to think of it, it's more of just a there's the waypoint. It's more of just a. It creates a draw. It's kind of like a vacuum. Ooh, 5 to mana, extra gold for monsters. Don't mind if I do. Oh, watch this. This is gonna. Nope, that was trash. That was trash too. What about you? You good? Ooh, castrate's nice. I'll put that on. One to bone armor's kind of garbage. I like that septic grand charm. I like that a lot. Mostly because the poison damage is applied to just me. It's not even applied to my birds or anything. But it's a huge benefit when dealing with certain fights, because then you could just poison them. Stick and move, stab them, run away. They get poisoned and it slowly drains their life, and then they're done. But aside from my
Good day.
two rather drawn out, I would say rather interesting discussions.
Greetings.
I think that this is going to be it for this video. I'm going to do maybe just a little spot of gambling here to see if can I get a spirit helm or something? Or, I was a spike shield. I probably should have gone for that. Let me shuffle it up till I get a spike shield again. Ooh, that's a good piece of armor, too. Spike shield? Large shields aren't bad, but I prefer spike shields. They have less strength requirement. That was kind of poo. Give me another one. That's nice. And I will buy a pair of heavy boots. Beautiful. There we go. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoy this series. I really do. I know that I'm enjoying it, and I look forward to seeing how well it turns out. I mean, the Ravens are getting stronger and stronger. They have more attack rating, attack power, and obviously I can't get this until I get to Nightmare because that's the thing I've put on myself. Restriction I've put on myself. Hopefully in the next video or 2 videos, I will be able to take down Andariel. That will be in Act 2. But until then, I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, a fantastic tomorrow, and as always, have a good one.